Hey everyone, in today's video I'm going to show you how I EQ guitars to remove the fizz. Here I have a mix. This is an old mix. I'm going to loop the chorus and I want you just to listen to the guitar parts. Okay, I'm not going to play the whole thing, I'm just going to play a few bars and then we'll isolate the guitars and then we'll try to find that offending frequency. Here we go. All right, cool. So first thing we're going to do is these are the two guitars here, left and right, and I am going to add a EQ, and the EQ that I use is Fat Filter Q Pro Q3, but you can do this with any plugin, any EQ plugin. You can also do it with a stock plugin. It works fine. I'm just using this one because it's the one that I'm more familiar with and I'm comfortable with. Always use plugins that you're comfortable with, and you don't need to get all these high-end plugins. A stock plugin will achieve the same thing that you want. All right, so here we go. You're going to notice that since I have two tracks and I'm going to affect both tracks, I need to put the EQ on both tracks. So I do on Pro Tools, what I do is I just go to where I added that EQ and then I hold down Option, click and hold, drag it, drop, and now I have two copies of it. But I also do something else here, which I already did before, and that is I group these two tracks. I'm going to show you that now. And this is a Pro Tools thing, but I'm sure you can do this with any DAW. Let me just show you right now. So what I do here is when I group these two tracks, I also select, I don't do global. Okay, so I remove global, and then I select all my on the inserts, all the controls and bypass, I checked it. So this way, when I make any moves on one plugin, it will make the same moves on the other plugin, and I'll show you that now. Okay, I'm going to open both EQ, the left and the right. Okay, so this is my left EQ and this is my right EQ. So if I were to make any changes on the left, same thing will happen on the right, and that's what I want, especially since I am affecting two tracks which are the same, left and right guitars. All right, so I can close this one. I don't need to see this one, and I'm going to solo the tracks so we can listen to it. And again, I'm looking for the fizz, that whistle sound that you usually hear on heavy rhythm guitars. And I'm just going to duck it down. I'm not going to remove it all the way. I see some engineers that they remove it all together. No, I just take a couple of dBs away because I don't want to affect the overall tone of the guitar. If you do too many moves to the guitar post, that means that in the tracking section, they really didn't capture a good tone. So if you captured a good tone, you just do subtle moves here. All right. So let's hit play and let's try to find that offending frequency. Here we go. Okay, it's right there. Okay, 4100. So just a couple of things as I was doing that, or what I was listening for. I was listening for the fizz getting louder, but the body was still there. If I were to continue passing 5K, it would get louder, but it'll get thinner. And I don't want that. Some guitars, like it's amp sims, I may want to remove some higher frequencies because for some reason amp sims, they just have those whistles really high up there as well. But I recorded this track using real amps, so I'm only going to find one offending frequency. And the way you find it, or the way you look for it, is by listening and hearing when it gets louder and still keeping the body of the guitar. And it's usually found between maybe 3.5K to about almost 5K. And like Billy Decker always says, find the pain, reduce the gain. And that's what I'm doing here, and I found it right here. All right, So then what I do is I don't take this and pull it down, because if I pull it down from here, I may lose where I found it. And since I'm doing some like pinpoint EQ moves here, like very specific EQ moves, I don't want to drag it down, because then I may move, as the mouse will move like maybe left and right a little bit as I'm dragging down. So instead I'll use this and I'll bring this down, okay, just like that. And I usually pull maybe about -2. I never go past -3, because the -1 and the -3 rule, I don't know if you ever heard that before. If you do something, if you do a volume change of 1 decibel, people will hear it if they're actively trying to listen for that. And 3 dB of change, everyone hears it. So if I do 3 dB of change, that's pretty drastic. It might not sound like it's drastic, but it really is. So I definitely don't want to go past 3. So I may do maybe like 2.5, around there. And let's take a listen. Let's do some A/B, and let's see if we got rid of that fizz or that whistle. Okay, here we go. There's still something there, but that's okay. Remember, you're doing subtle moves, and it might not sound drastic, but a good mix is a lot of subtle moves, not just one drastic move. And that is really, a good mix when you do that, when you do a lot of little tiny movements and moves. And here is one. And so it's important, even though it doesn't sound like it's a lot, it's important. All right, let's listen to it within the context of the mix. You might not hear it, but if you actively pay attention and listen to it, it's there, even though it's a dense mix. All right, and then that's it. So that's how I try to EQ guitar fizz, and I try to remove it. It was a short video, but if you like this video and if you thought it provided good content for you, please like and subscribe. It really helps with the channel. And until next time, happy fizz.